let's talk about 5-ish books that have gotten me out of a reading slump. The first book I'm actually reading the sequel to currently, which is Rebel Witch. The first book, Heartless Hunter, got me out of a reading slump, which is possibly the only fantasy book to ever get me out of a reading slump that wasn't a reread. It's about a witch and a witch hunter. Can you come up with a better enemies to lover scenario? I think not. Also, the twist at the end, perfect for getting me out of a slump. The second book is a romantic suspense book, which I am getting into that genre. I'm definitely new to it, and it was Whistleblower by Kay Cove. I got this recommendation from Page and Print on here, and I read it in one sitting on Super Bowl Sunday. And if you know me, you know that I'm an Eagles fan. I'm from New Jersey, Philly area, and my husband is a Kansas City Chiefs fan because he's from Kansas City. So this was a big day in our house. I also somehow read that entire book, and yes, I did stay up finishing it after the game, but I wasn't in a slump anymore afterwards. Next up were Cash and Wyatt by Jessica Peterson, and this is why I say 5-ish books, because I was in a reading slump coming out of Christmas. I think that's just natural. I wasn't reading much in like the actual days of Christmas. And then the day after Christmas, I sat down and I wasn't feeling so hot, honestly. I was feeling run down. I sat on the couch in my parents' living room. I read Cash and then immediately moved on to Wyatt. I read them both in one day. So yeah, got me out of a slump. And then we have Coach by Devney Perry, which this is Devney Perry's like breakaway for romantic suspense. But this is a sports romance. It's the first book in the Treasure State Wildcat series, and I did go on to then use the rest of those books to get me out of slumps. So every single book in this series is good for getting you out of a reading slump, but I started with Coach and I do recommend reading them in order as always. And then we have Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. Again, I didn't know what I was really getting myself into with this book, and I loved it. It was really fun. It was funny. Like, I was actually laughing at this book, and my husband was like, what is happening over there? I'm pretty sure I read it in like 1 or 2 days. I got my mom to read it. What was the last book that got you out of a reading slump, and what book has put you into a reading slump? And should I do a video on the last 5 books that have put me in a slump? Maybe.